couple videos ago, I did talk about I am rebranding my personal brand and my business brand. And as I am doing this, I am realizing that um, I have a lot of old habits that go with my old ways, my old branding, right? If I'm trying to shift into this new idea of L'Amour Fashions, the name of my business is L'Amour Fashions. If I'm trying to shift into this new idea of what my business could be for L'Amour Fashions, if I'm trying to shift into this new idea of what my personal branding should be, okay, I need to keep this in mind that the person or the business that I am trying to become or trying to have, I have to shift my habits and the way that I think so that way I can really achieve this new idea of what I want to become. Make sense? So the idea is, again, so for me, if I am trying to become this known entrepreneur who has these virtual events, who creates these experiences for their customers, right? And who is highlighting or talking about having these luxurious experience for their customers and for any sellers who participate, right? I have to shift into that mindset right now. Before I started rebranding, okay, my brand was more about get the cheapest deal that you can, okay? The cheaper, the better. I was selling my jewelry on platforms like Whatnot and Poshmark. And if you are familiar with those platforms, the customers who shop on those platforms are looking for deals, right? The cheaper, the better. Okay, if you have a very competitive price on something and you're on Whatnot or Poshmark, chances are you will sell out. Okay, but sometimes that might mean lower pricing. So for me, my jewelry pieces, they retail anywhere. Just giving you an example, let's talk about some earrings. Okay, so for my earrings, I might have some pieces that retail for $99, right? But because I'm selling them on Poshmark or Whatnot, I'm doing auction bids for $5 starts, right? If the retail value is $99 and I am selling these items, or if you know about live auctions, right? You start low. So I start with $5 bids, and then the idea that we want to happen is customers will start bidding up the price, right? One person will bid, it'll go to 6, next person will bid, it'll go to 7, 8, 9, all the way up to as close to the $99 retail value. However, okay, reality is that's not the case usually. Sometimes you get that, but for the majority of the time, you get you're going to get what you offer. Okay, so I am offering $5 starts on jewelry items. They're going to sell for $5 or even close to $5. I might sell one for 10 or 6 or 7, but low price. Okay, which from a business perspective, that means I'm not really making any money. Yes, I'm selling items, but when you look at the profit being made, okay, profit is the cost that it's cost you to get the item that you're selling, okay, and then what it actually sold for, okay, so you minus the cost from what it sold for, and then that's your profit. So if it costs me $50 to get this jewelry item, okay, well, let's try it again. If it costs me $10 to get this jewelry item, okay, and I sell it for $20, okay, my profit is $10, okay? But if I spend $10 to get it and I sell it for $11, my profit is $1. Okay, that's not, and then technically that's not even your profit because it's the you want to be able to spend that money back to get more inventory, right? So if it costs me 10, I want to get that 10 back, plus have another 10 for my expenses and things. And then the idea is you want to have another 10 that is your profit. So you got the 10 of the cost of goods, that one, I hope I'm not confusing you, but you got if your cost of good is 10, okay, you want to make almost 3 times that. Okay, because 1/3 of it will go back to the cost of your item. 1/3 of it will go to any expenses for running the business, cost of, maybe hourly, if you have employees, your hourly wages, or even to pay yourself hourly, right? And then that last third portion there is supposed to be to boost your net worth in your business. So that's when people say, well, what is your business worth? Okay, you have some money in the bank. It's not like you're down to zero, right? So does that make sense? Okay, that's the gist of what profit is, and that is your goal as an entrepreneur. Your goal is to make as much profit as you can. For me, as a business owner that's trying to rebrand their business into a luxury type brand, okay, I have to keep these things in mind, that I have to shift my mindset. I have to shift the things that I was doing before. So I can't keep having $5 auction starts, because that doesn't give the vibe of luxury. It doesn't give the vibe of, higher end pieces. Okay. So because of that, I have to let the things that don't fall into that idea, anything that doesn't fall into that idea now needs to go. Okay, I'm not focusing on that anymore. So I'm going to stop having these $5 starts. As a matter of fact, I might even stop selling on platforms like Whatnot and Poshmark, because it doesn't really go with my branding anymore. So stay tuned. I will let you know if that is the case. But as of right now, I do still sell on Poshmark and Whatnot. I just don't sell at those low prices anymore. But I'm saying this all to tell you that if you want to, or if you have a vision of what your brand could be, or what you want your brand to be, okay, you have to shift your mind to become that person. Shift your mind to get your business into that position, right? So again, if I am talking about, I am somebody who's going to coach other entrepreneurs, right? I have to get into that mindset that I am able to help others by talking about my business, okay? Before, I wouldn't talk about my business. I would keep it all to myself and just figure it out in my head. Now, in order for me to show you or to help you get better understanding for your own business, I have to open up and talk about it, right? I've got to be a little vulnerable and share my experiences with you, okay? If I don't do that, then what I see for myself in the future, for my future brand, it might not happen. So if you see, or if you want to rebrand your business, rebrand whether it's your personal or business brand, okay, if you want to just change the messaging or change how you do things, okay, you have to shift in order to level up. You have to shift your mindset to think differently, okay? I have to, again, my goal is to make 6 figures or more, right? That is my goal, okay, for this year while I'm doing this Brand Impact 365. The Lamore that will be making 6, 7 figures is not the same Lamore who is making $5 an item on Whatnot, okay? 2 different people, 2 different brands. And if I want to become this person or uplift my business in this way, I've got to get rid of all these bad habits and start finding habits that will shift my mind, shift my current thinking into what I'm trying to do. Make sense? I hope so. So, again, just think about it that way. Think about, what do you see for yourself in the future? I know for a long time, I wasn't thinking about the future. I really wasn't. I was really just thinking about the sales. I got to make this money today because this bill is due on Monday. And if I go live and I sell this for $5 each, and if I got 40 items at $5 each, that'll give me this much, and that should be able to pay the bill. I wasn't thinking from a mindset of I've got abundance. I was thinking from a mindset of I'm just making just enough and I have to do this or else I'm going to be broke. See, it's a different type of mindset and I have to shift it. So I hope this helps you get your mindset to shift. If you see more for yourself as a personal brand or more for yourself as a business brand, you have to shift your mind, shift the way that you are thinking about what you do every day, right? I'm shifting the way that I even dress, okay? Just to give you a heads up, okay? When you dress a certain way, it gives your mind, okay? It almost tricks your mind to think a certain way, right? So if you're wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt all day long, you're going to be in the mindset of I'm comfortable, I'm cozy, I just want to relax. If you are in heels and slacks all day, you're in the mindset of I'm not comfortable where I'm relaxing. Instead, I need to keep moving and get some things done so that way I feel productive when I'm moving like this, right? You have to dress for the part. If my thought process is shift from somebody who is scarcity thinking I got to just pay the bills, to somebody who lives in abundance, right? I have to make sure that I shift and start dressing the part, start thinking the part, start walking and talking the part, right? Okay. Just some little things I want to just share with you. These are things I'm going to be working on. And if you're watching this video and you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I see more for my brand. I see more for my business brand. I see more for my personal brand. I want to be more. Okay. Take this into consideration. When you go start to rebrand, just start thinking about who and what's your purpose. Okay. Who you want to become, what your business wants to become, and then do those little shifts to help you get to that goal, right? Could be the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you present things, the way you communicate, the way you list your items. It could be the way that you talk on social media. It could be the way your website is set up. It could be the colors that you use on your website. There's so many different ways that you can shift so that your brand is now becoming uplifted, right? More than what it was in the past. I hope this video helps you, friend. And again, I appreciate you so much for being here, for tuning in. Till next time, you stay bright, stay beautiful, and keep on smiling. Later, Gator. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, then like and subscribe to support Brand Impact 365 with LaMorvielle. And if you are struggling with your brand impact, then watch the next video.